Did you know there are over 1 million horror stories on Reddit? That's right, 1 million. Ever had a chilling experience yourself? If not, get ready, because today we're diving into the 5 scariest stories ever shared on the platform. These tales are sure to send shivers down your spine, so grab some snacks, turn off the lights, and get ready for a thrill. What makes them even scarier? Many are based on real-life events. Let's explore these bone-chilling stories and see just how close to reality the fear really is. The TV show that haunted my childhood. When I was 6, living in war-torn Lebanon, I stumbled upon the strangest TV show. It was supposed to be for kids, but the images were terrifying. The lessons were dark. Bad kids stay up late. Bad kids hide under the covers. But what haunted me the most was the final scene of every episode. The camera would zoom in on this rusty door, and behind it, horrifying screams. The words, "That's where bad kids go," would appear in Arabic. Then the screen would go black. 15 years later, I became a journalist, and I tracked down the studio where the show was filmed. It was abandoned, burnt from the inside. But deep inside, I found something worse. Behind the locked door, there were tiny bone and blood on the floor. And hanging from the ceiling, bolted to the roof, was a caged microphone. That's when I realized those screens weren't just for show. I left and never went back. What do you think was happening behind that door? Let me know in the comments below. I set up a camera in my bedroom. What it caught terrified me. It was 2:04 a.m. I woke up to knocking. Slow and steady. I slipped on my slippers, headed downstairs, and the knocking got faster, like a heartbeat. But when I reached the door, no one was there. At 4:21, I heard my front door slam. I jumped out of bed and looked at my window. The word "smile" was written all over the frost. Panicked, I grabbed my phone to call 911, but instead, there was a message. "I told you to smile." I ran to my neighbor's house. The police came, but they found nothing. No fingerprints, no writing, nothing. The next night, I set up a camera in my room. I watched the footage the next morning, and I'll never forget what I saw. At 3 a.m., something crawled out from under my bed. It was a naked man. He stared at me for an hour. Then he walked up to the camera. He smiled into the camera. For 2 hours, he didn't move, didn't blink, just twisted his head. Then he crawled back under the bed. And that's where the video ended. The thing is, I never saw him leave. If you're still watching, would you dare to check under your bed tonight? Let me know in the comments. We thought we were alone, but someone was watching us. I was hanging out at my friend Jenny's house after school. It was just the two of us, and everything was normal, except for one thing. There was this doll, sitting on her parents' bed, staring at us. Its eyes felt too real. I tried to brush it off, but eventually I told Jenny. "That doll is creeping me out," I said. Jenny laughed, but she closed the bedroom door to calm me down. We went back to our game. But when I looked up again, the door was open. The doll was staring at us again. Jenny swore no one else was home. She closed the door once more, making sure it clicked shut. But no matter what, every time we checked, the door was open and the doll was watching. Finally, Jenny had enough. She grabbed the doll, threw it in the closet, and slammed the door shut. But then I looked up one last time. The bedroom door was slightly open. A chair was propped behind it. And sitting on the chair, peeking through the crack, was the doll. I ran. I didn't look back. Would you? Tell me in the comments if you did. It was just a normal night, until I heard that noise. It was around 2 a.m., and I was doing what any teenager does, scrolling through the internet. But then, I heard it. A thumping sound at my window. Not a bug, not the wind, but something weird, something I'd never heard before. Thump. Thump, thump. I froze for a moment, listening, but then it stopped. I didn't look. I didn't want to look. After a while, I shrugged it off, telling myself it was nothing. I spent another hour avoiding that window before going to bed. The next morning, I tried everything to recreate that sound. I tapped the glass, messed with the lock. Nothing. I thought it was just my imagination. But then, later that evening, my dad came home. He decided the house was too stuffy, so he went to open my window, just like normal. He forgot to unlock it first, And when he pulled, it made the same noise I heard last night. Thump, thump, thump. My window only has handles on the inside. So, who was at my window last night? Ever heard something in the night you couldn't explain? Tell me in the comments below. I witnessed something at the church near my house. I wish I hadn't. It was a quiet Wednesday night. After a long day, I passed a small church and noticed a bike with someone sitting on the bench. But when I looked again, the bench was empty. Curiosity got the best of me, so I went closer. As I approached, I heard chanting. I peeked through a window and saw 6 people in a circle, chanting. My neighbor John was among them. In the center, a young girl was tied up. Suddenly, their leader appeared. Sacrifices must be made, he said. Before stabbing the girl with the knife, I screamed, and they all turned toward me. One of them rushed for the door. I barely made it to my car and locked the doors as he reached me grinning. I called the police, but they didn't believe me. I can't sleep, knowing John saw me. Then this morning, I found a letter at my door. You are invited to celebrate the church's 350-year anniversary. Please help me. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a scary experience that you just can't explain? Drop your stories in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe for more Reddit horror stories. We've got plenty more thrills and chills coming your way, so stay tuned.